is there a team that you're looking at right now that may be in the top 10 that may be a little bit overhyped that you might see falling? And then on the back end of that, give me this year's TCU.
Oh, man. It's well, first off, I really don't pay too much attention to preseason rankings because I think it's always a bit odd. Mm-hmm. And you go back and you look at the impact that preseason rankings sometimes can have, especially early on, because it's all from the AP, and it influences, I think, to a degree, the College Football Playoff Committee. And it's a bit unfair because you get 4 or 5 games in the season, you see what some of these teams are, and you're like, dude, that really wasn't a ranked win or shouldn't be factored in that way. So
I agree.
I think I'll put it this way. I think the team that there's the most optimism about that really needs to take a big next step is Texas. It's their last year in the Big 12. I think Steve Sarkisian has done a tremendous job with the offense, however, defensively. And last year they showed some improvement there once they brought along, Gary Patterson to be a part of that group. But, they kind of started then to fall off offensively the second half of last year, especially for some of the games that Quinn Ewers wasn't there for. That's the team that I'm looking at and most curious about. Can they be – the Big 12 thinks they're going to win the Big 12 this year. They think they could be in college football playoff contention. They've got to replace Bijan Robinson, but they do have a deep backfield. They've recruited well. They have a ton of speed and talent on the outside, a wide receiver, maybe the best tight end in the Big 12. And Ewers could be that other name we're talking about when it's all said and done, with Caleb Williams, with Drake May out of North Carolina at quarterback, for being that top 10 pick, because he's got the ability. And I think he's matured a lot. I think he's taking the offseason very different than how he did in the past. So Texas is the team that I guess I'll put it this way, I'm most curious about. I think, that could be a team that either takes off and dominates and wins the Big 12, is in the playoff, or it could be one where, it doesn't work out quite as well. And who knows, how we're talking about Texas at the end of the season. And as far as like a surprise team that I don't know, I don't think people are talking about enough for national consideration. I don't know if this is a sleeper as much, but like Penn State is like the third favorite to win the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. I think this team could break out and be a playoff team.
Wow.
Like Drew Aller their quarterback reminds me of Big Ben. He's gigantic, Mike, and he can move. He's got a howitzer for an arm. He's polished. They've got 2 backs in the backfield that are studs in Katron Allen and Nick Singleton. Their left tackle might be the best left tackle, Olu Fashanu, in college football. Chop Robinson's like their next great edge rusher. Abdul Carter looks like a young LeVar Arrington. Kalen King's a stud in their secondary. Like, they're loaded.
Wow.
And some would say if not now, then when. But that's one of those teams that I don't know that people look at them on the national stage as like being a part of it. That's another team that if things go well this year, they could be the Big Ten champ. They could be playing for a national championship.
Well, they got to get over 2 big humps, of course, Ohio State and Michigan, just like they lost to them last year as well. So we'll see if Penn State can get that job done.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.